So we're going to go through some KDE updates, which is from various offices. It's items that didn't warrant a full presentation on its own. So we've kind of got a mixture of things. Here are the items we're going to talk about, and we like alphabetical order. So it's not a matter of importance of which, the user accesses last. It's just a matter of alphabetical order on the slides. So active year change is happening tonight for state edition, or actually has already occurred in a lot of districts and a lot of in state edition. But whenever you're ready for the change, you can control this. It determines what enrollments are highlighted on the enrollment screen and what data is visible in the parent portal. You may want to limit access to the portal until scheduling is complete, so you don't get questions while you're still working on schedules. There is a script that Infinite Campus will run for you called the Kentucky Enrollment Script that updates your enrollments that were rolled forward during the year to get the special education indicators up to date on what's on the current IEP instead of what they were at the time the enrollment was rolled forward. And if you're going to have campus run that, which we recommend, but it is optional, make sure you do that, have them run that, put in a support case and have them run that script before you change your active year. Not before you roll, just before you change your active year. And there are other information in the article in the May Cases Infinite Campus newsletter called Closing the School Year Reminders that you can see for additional tips about the end of year. Scope year change is happening tonight, and scope year affects what information syncs. So Hillary's presentation earlier on all the sync things and what data is syncing. Right now, there's not enrollments in state edition. So if you ran your report for enrollments tonight or right now, it'll look really bad for 21-22, but that's okay because they haven't been syncing yet. But the scope year is going to change tonight, and we'll start syncing 21-22 records. The plus and minus 1 year has limited manual syncing, but nothing automatically syncs. It has to be kicked off. So if you know you changed records in the prior year, that you've got to get in to fix a school report card change, we will have to do some manual syncs to get those up to state edition if we're pulling the data from state. And as of this change, 1920 data no longer becomes available for any type of syncing. So civil rights data collection is going to happen for the 2021 school year. It was supposed to have been last year, or 1920, but it got delayed because of COVID. So we will be assisting with the collection. They'll open their collection. You never know exactly when, but there's a lot of information on their web pages that are listed here on this slide as links. And KDE will be assisting with collecting and preparing the data to load, but each district is responsible for the quality of its own data. So make sure you review it and don't just say, yeah, it's good, but double check us. Direct Admissions Project. The Council on Post-Secondary Education has started an initiative, and students are now eligible based on their GPA for entry into college without additional college assessment test. And you can use an Infinite Campus because it's based on their high school record to identify eligible students, communicate with students and parents, and promote FAFSA completion. More information will be shared as specifics are available. Dee Dee, anything else on that? Catch her off guard here.
No, that's good.
Okay. Extra year in primary. The extra year in primary checkbox has been on the enrollment record for a long time, but it is really only supposed to be used for elementary schools that are offering a true primary program. It doesn't have to be done in all schools, and it's only supposed to be marked on the student's 5th year in primary school, not if they repeat 1st grade, that you keep marking it from the time they're 1st grade on. It's only in their 5th year. And if the student is a supplemental school year program student, that will not count as a 5th year. So they're just doing like everybody else and repeating the years. That doesn't make them a 5th year student. So e-transcript reminders. There are a lot of settings that have to be set up each year to make e-transcripts work well. PESC mappings for diploma type and difficulty level must be set in code defining each year. You copy the data forward. It's fairly easy to do. You just have to go in, remember to go in and do it, and have somebody, a system administrator with enough access to go do this each year. Transcripts must include a graduation date and a code to be considered final for admissions. So when you release those final transcripts, if you haven't posted the graduation dates yet and the diploma type, they will not, the colleges won't take them as a final transcript. Students have through July 31st, graduates have through July 31st to get their transcripts for free through Parchment. So make sure you get those requests in and those transcripts sent before August 1st, or they'll become alumni and start being charged a fee for their transcripts. Counselors should generate transcripts for all graduating seniors each year to maximize benefit. These can be loaded into Parchment and just be sitting there whenever somebody needs them so that you don't have to release them later on. The e-transcript data standard has more information about it, and that is our state standard. It's what the colleges are expecting to see. Campus invoices were released in April. They're due by August 15th. If you have questions about it, please contact Infinite Campus. And if you can't find your invoice, please email the KDE Data Services email box and we'll get you a copy of it. KEYS eligibility report. The KEYS eligibility report should be run at the beginning of the year to identify ineligible students who could be ineligible based on scheduling issues. Students who are full year students have to have at least 5 courses during the year to meet the minimum requirements for KEYS. But if you got them in the experience-based work courses with state code 901005, those were capped at 1 credit. So if you've got a half a day of the students in that for half a day, they might not have enough credits to get their KEYS money. So just want to double check that and make sure we're keeping them eligible. People role manager. If you've been in other sessions, we've talked about this a lot, but keep your contact information for all roles up to date. Role contact information is used to create email distribution lists for sending guidance to appropriate district contacts. It's used by people to figure out who to contact a lot, just looking them up one at a time too. You can review your role contacts on Open House. And if you click your district name and scroll down to review the leadership and district contacts, select schools to review the school level contacts, work with your WAPOC, who is also listed on the district page, to update contact information. And People Role Manager is used to establish permissions for access to school report card approval and collection tool. School report card. This is the schedule for school report card. I'm not going to read you all these things, but the school safety reviews open now, and the school report card collection tool is currently open. Need to finish these reviews in time for those deadlines. Ensure appropriate staff can access the school report card approval collection sites. Back to the WAPOC again. If they're not identified with the correct role, they will not have automatic access. There are setup instructions for school report card that have been published that you can review by clicking those links. And the school report card webpage has a lot of other communication information.
One thing, Lisa, I want to mention here, and that's the fact that we have had some issues with principals, and we're doing a complete resync of all the principals today. So if you've got principals that are saying they're not able to access the school report card, ask them to hold tight till tomorrow, and if they're still having trouble tomorrow, to reach out to us. This is somehow around some of the users that had supposedly not used the system for over 13 months, and that caused an issue that we're trying to resolve.
Okay, thank you. School report card, validate data now to help ensure data in Infinite Campus before school report card data is loaded to school report card. A lot of school report cards in that sentence. The school report card quality assurance worksheet, which is hyperlinked here, includes reports that can be used to help with validation, and key points of contact at KDE are listed. We recommend a team approach to school report card work. One person trying to review all the data is tough, so it helps to have data stewards or persons most familiar with the data review data proactively and fix any errors in Infinite Campus before the data is loaded to school report card. Data will be loaded to school report card the first week of August for district review. There's a new feature in the school report card this year, which is optional. There's a superintendent message. Your superintendent has up to 750 characters that they can enter to say whatever message they want to give about the district, and it will display on the district and school landing pages as shown in the screen. Message from the superintendent, and it's entered via the approval collector tool, and instructions are available on the school report card resource page. Single sign-on makes it easier for everybody. Less accounts to manage, less things to deal with, but COVID extended our timeline for getting this done. So continue to move forward if you do not have not gone to single sign-on yet, with plans for statewide transition for Infinite Campus to single sign-on in the 21-22 school year. This requires just one set of login credentials for each user. They use their network password instead of having a separate Infinite Campus account. Working with district technologies leaders as the primary point of contact is what you want to do. In cases, administrators will need to submit a campus ticket requesting single sign-on account type automation to start the process with your targeted conversion date. KDE is funding the campus technical assistant to minimize the burden on districts. Chuck Austin is our primary point of contact at KDE for this work if you have questions. And many have already done this, but it's, I think last check it was about 75 districts that had done it. So we've still got a lot that haven't. So teacher turnover. This is reported on school report card, but there is a teacher turnover details report where you can tell which teachers are counted in those aggregate counts that are on school report card. The report runs from a static data table, not live data, because it's a lot of information to calculate. So no updates will occur in Infinite Campus unless KDE refreshes that static table. So if you know data, you've had to make adjustments to the prior year data for school report card, for teacher turnover, you found some administrative assistants that were listed with their EPSB ID, so they got counted as teacher turnover. They shouldn't have been. Notify our Scott Tremolis is the right contact, or so we can refresh that, or if we could also get an email to the KDE data mailbox too, and we'll work on getting that refreshed. But anyone who's assigned to a course section scheduled during the instructional time who has a license number on Infinite Campus credentials will be included. That's the way we determine who's a teacher, because so many people can be marked as a teacher that are not certified people. Review that Munis report and make sure all your EPSB certified teachers, administrators, counselors, and library media science staff have their EPSB ID, so they're being counted as they should be. User access. It's always important to maintain our user accounts and security. People leave. They start new jobs, they change job roles. So at the beginning of the year, verify who's got access and should they still have access. If they've left the district, they definitely don't need any access to the system anymore. If they've changed roles, you need to reevaluate what level of access they need. New users should be set up with appropriate access to do their work. Campus reports can help identify stale or inactive accounts, accounts with product security roles assigned, and those with specific tool rights. The report is under Kentucky State Reporting, KDE Reports, Active User Account Access/Usage Report. And it'll show you who's not logged in the last 6 months or the last 12 months, so that to help you figure out accounts to possibly disable. There's also a product security role report, a tool and calendar right access report, a user rights summary for individual user accounts. So all of those together will help you figure out what tool rights might need to be adjusted and accounts that might need to be disabled. Closing and our next steps to get ELA credit. Thank you for attending today. And if you are someone who needs ELA credit for this cases training, make sure you've registered for the training session. If you have not registered yet, you still can. At 4:30 today, we will be sending out a survey that you self-report which sessions you attended to calculate the amount of ELA credit you would get. And ELA certificates will be delivered by email within 30 days of the training. And I think that's our last slide. So I actually got done early. Dee Dee, anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I've looked for questions. We don't have any questions. If you think of a question you forgot to add, don't hesitate to go ahead and add it later today. We will pull all the questions that we've got and include anything that comes in today in the Q&A document that gets posted. So don't hesitate if if you still got questions. But we want to thank everybody for participating. I know it's been a long day, and some of you have stayed with us all day long, and we appreciate that. But those of you that have jumped in for the sessions that you're interested in, we're glad you had the opportunity to do that too. So we're always open to suggestions on this training. If you have our next training will be mid-year. That's usually sometime in January, looking at middle of January for that. So if you ever have topics that you want to make sure that we do cover, do reach out to us. Linda Burton does send out emails and ask for input from districts, and we always appreciate the feedback that we get. Please, like Lisa said, take advantage of the opportunity to give us feedback also through the survey, and that is the way that you're going to get your ELA credit. So don't skip that survey or say I'll get to it later. Go ahead and do that, and then you will get your ELA credit with the first round of certificates that go out. So unless somebody else has something, I think we can close for today.